Lesson 2-1, Mathematical Expressions. So in this video, we're going to be solving mathematical expressions. Actually, not solving it, but we are going to be identifying if it's algebraic or if it's numerical, and then just identifying different parts of an expression. So first off, let's look at some vocabulary. Mathematical expressions are just can be classified as numerical or algebraic. For numerical expressions, those are expressions that contain only numerals and has at least one mathematical operation. An algebraic expression is an expression that contains one or more variables and mathematical operations. The variable is just a symbol, usually a letter, that represents an unknown. So we are going to be going from writing the expression in words to writing it with digits and variables, and vice versa, going from the expression written in variables and digits to writing it in words. So here's an example of how the expressions can be written. So you have some that are written with words, such as 3 times some number, and then with numerical or algebraic expressions, you would write that as 3 times a, or 3a, or you can have 3 and then parentheses a. You have 10 plus a number, that's 10 plus b. You could put b plus 10. It doesn't change the answer, but the way they wrote it, you should have it as 10 plus b. Now, there are multiple words you can use to write the equations, but the digits and the operations that you use, you're a little more limited of how you can write them. So we're going to practice writing these in our few examples in this video. So our first example, we're going to write each as a numerical expression. So they give it to us in words. So the first one says the sum of 1.5 and 3. So I'm going to write this as a numerical expression. So that's 1.5 plus 3. Now I'm not going to solve it because it has to be an expression, and we're just using numbers that they gave us to write the expression. Next, 8 increased by negative 5. So if I would have 8, it increased by, that means I'm adding a negative 5 from it, which really you're subtracting on that one. Next one, half the product of 6 and 3. So half, the product is the answer to a multiplication problem. And what am I multiplying? 6 times 3. So it's half of that. So that's one way you can write it. Or you could do 6 times 3 and all divided by 2. Those are all ways you can write as numerical expressions. Next, we write these as algebraic expressions. So what we just had, those are numerical. Algebraic expressions, remember, have numbers, operators, and variables. So here it says a number decreased by 3.5. So a number, I'm just going to use n. I don't know what the number is, but it decreased. That means I subtract by 3.5. Next, 10 divided by twice a number. So I'm going to have 10 divided by twice a number means 2n. Now that's one way I could write it. I can also write it as 10 with a fraction 10 divided by 2n. Next, I have negative 7 less than a half a number. So if I have half a number, so it's half n, less than means I'm subtracting a negative 7. So that's one way you can write that. Next one, the difference when a number doubled is subtracted from 3. So the difference is a subtraction problem. So the difference when a number doubled, so if I'm doubling a number, that's 2, is subtracted from 3. So that'd be 2n minus 3. Next, 4 multiplied by the sum of a number and 5. So 4 times the sum, the answer to an addition problem, a number, n, plus 5. And then 2 years younger than Bailey. So if Bailey is b years of age, 2 years younger would be b minus 2. Now I'm going to come back to this this one right here, because that one, I misread that. The keyword here at the end is from 3. So it's not 2n minus 3. It's going to be 3 minus 2n. So I'm subtracting the number doubled from 3. So that's important. So the wording here is important. So make sure when you read these, you read it very carefully. Otherwise, you make a mistake just like I made right there. Moving on to our next examples. Here we're going to write a word phrase for each expression. Now, when you write the word phrase, there are more than one way of writing it. So I usually write it the way I say it. That's the easy way, but there's multiple ways you can use this. So this would be -3 times a number, or I'm going to say times n. Next, I have x minus 12 divided by 2. So I'm going to say the difference which just means the answer to a subtraction problem of x and 12 divided by 2. Next, I have 4a minus the absolute value of -6. So I could say 4 times a minus the absolute value of -6. And this last one here, I have 5 times the sum, and that's the answer to an addition problem, of a and 1. Now I'm just writing one way of doing it, and as I said before, I just usually write it the way I say it. But there's more than one way you can write these. Next, write these word phrases for the expressions. So here I would have 10 divided by the product, which is the answer to a multiplication problem, of 2 and n. And this last one, twice a number plus 3. Now you could also have said the sum of twice a number and 3. That would also work. Always, that is our lesson on mathematical expressions.